real right now.
Myster DL.
222. Who's off?
We are here, man. It's the Danger Zone podcast, number 3.
3.
The legendary Big Shug, the iconic Myster DL,
The pot doctor.
Chef Tanya Nicole on the third mic.
What's up out there?
Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, what's good, man? Hey, another week. You know, blessed with life. We here. We're gonna be pushing this thing, man. And you know, what's good, man? What's up, man? How you, brother?
It's been a busy week. I just want to make sure everybody hits that like button and leaves a comment. That really helps us out more than you know.
Yes, 100%.
And make sure you subscribe to Big Shug's page. Make sure you subscribe, follow us everywhere. But it's just been another busy week. We got the Super Bowl coming up today. We got a lot of news in hip hop, a lot of news in sports. So as usual, let's start with you. What caught your eye this year in hip hop? I mean, this week in hip hop.
A lot of shit this year, though, boy. But on some real shit, you know, a few things. First thing I would like to clear up is on the previous edition, I spoke somewhat about the making of militia, but it was really from my perspective. There was a part where Guru was in the middle, obviously, second verse. So he did that where he was at, recorded, and probably right after me, once, because I was with Premier, and we went and met up with him. And then Freddie Fox heard it after, but he came in as the closer. Because if you heard the record, and if not, Google it, listen to it on YouTube or what have you, and you'll see that, you know, he came through with the smash in the end, you know, so which created the classic. So I just want to clean up a couple of those. Also, I said that I had never worked with a Wu-Tang member, and I actually did do a song with Jizza called Yes, Yes, Y'all, featuring myself and Bomb Shot, but it was Jizza's joint. You know, peep that too, go listen to that, man. It's called Yes, Yes, Y'all, the Jizza featuring Big Shug and Bomb Shot.
I like Jizza, I always like Jizza.
Me too. I want to give a shout out to Benny the Butcher, because he scores his Billboard milestone with his J. Cole collab, you know what I'm saying? So his first time entering that Billboard situation, and that's a beautiful thing because, you know, it ain't really about all the accolades and such, but still it's good to be recognized, you know? So shout out to Benny the Butcher.
I got a joint with Benny the Butcher. It's called, what's it called? Real Dope Boys with SPG and Benny the Butcher. Go check that one out.
Yeah, see?
I produced that
I like how you plug your shit, man.
Yeah.
You like a human plug. I like that shit, though, for real.
See hair plugs and
you know,
we'll be all set.
You're going to be all right, man. Just don't be shafting this week.
No shaft surfing.
No shaft surfing. We're going to be all right.
Shout out to everybody who sent me the hashtag shaft surfing this
You know what I'm
week.
saying? I seen that shit, too, man. They wildin'. You know what I'm saying? But also, I want to give condolences to Syl Johnson. You know, he was a funk soul singer, you know, and you know, he had some great songs and socially conscious songs that were sampled by a lot of people in hip hop. He died at the age of 85. You know, condolences to him and his family. Because a lot of these people don't know, people like that, that's where a lot of them samples come from. And you know, you could do your homework and you understand the music and you know the music. Like I went on tour years ago with, with Bernard Purdy. Shout out to Bernard Purdy. And he was a classic drummer. And but so many people use his drum beats and breaks and such. It's just, you know, just know your history, man. You know, and you know, just knowing those little things go a long way, man. And recognize what this music was built on. You know, so condolences. The legacy continues for Syl Johnson, man, and obviously he was great for the culture and soul music as well, is what he did, you know? So, you know, we want to give him that love and celebrate that, you know, celebrate his life. Also, you're going to be here forever, man, with your music. Your music's forever. Even when you cease to exist, the music is still going to be playing. You know what I mean? So,
You don't give me my whiskey? So it was the week of cancellations. That's something I wanted to briefly talk about to segue back into hip hop.
Yeah, good.
Joe Rogan got canceled. Or Joe Rogan didn't get canceled. They tried to cancel Joe Rogan. Let me refresh that. and then Whoopi Goldberg got canceled, both for racial remarks. I'm sure everybody's already heard about it, but Joe Rogan basically had someone make a compilation of every time he used the N-word on his podcast, and not defending. I don't think he should be canceled for it, because you got to take it in context what he was saying and who he was talking to. But it's not a word I use, but he wasn't using it maliciously or in anger, or he was just quoting people. So I was interested in your opinion. Is it okay to use it then?
Me personally, not really.
Okay.
Because the only thing is sometimes I feel like people get comfortable in situations where they say, I'm going to use it in that context. So I'm going to tell you, like, I'm going to say N-word or whatever, because that's what the book's called.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost, you really can't have the conversation. You really can't speak without using that. Knowing the offense that comes with it, being white. I mean, that's just how it's always been.
Yeah.
If we're not gonna, like, there's no need really for him to mention it at all. Even he can get the point across without that. That goes for a lot of people. Like even the curly head clown dude from Seinfeld.
Oh, Michael Richards.
Yeah, he said that in his little thing.
Yeah, that is completely different.
But no, see, this is what I'm saying.
That was terrible.
It's not the person who's offensive, it's the word who's offensive being used from this person. That's usually how racially that works. I mean, me, I grew up in some racial times, like in Boston, Massachusetts, man. Like we moved to Mattapan in the 70s and it was a predominantly white area. People would be 2 inches from you and call you the N-word. You know what I'm saying? And I was a kid. I remember one quick story where me and my brother went to walk our dogs. They were puppies and shit. And we took them to Mattapan Square. I was about 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? And this white dude says, hey, what are you looking at, you ugly niggas, basically? So I'm a kid. I never experienced anything like that. So I'm like, yo, don't mess with us. Like, we're kids, we're not messing with you. Like, that's really how it was. So he got close enough and he punched me in the face. So I'm 10, So I run home, get my father. My father didn't even take the car. We lived close to Mattapan Square. We all run back to Mattapan Square, and he don't see the dude. But my father was fierce like that. He tried to beat up everything. He just was fierce, stood on his ground.
We heard about it first episode.
Yeah, he was wild like that. So, and we went to this bar. Back then, I forget what it was called, but it later became known as the Rose Club. But before, it was a bar where back then police were in there drinking with they fully uniformed, and it was a white bar. When we walked in there, we're kids. I see the guy, I point him out. My father grabs him. There's cops in there having drinks, which you would never see today.
Yeah.
These dudes were sitting having drinks, and they get up, intervene. But then the white dude starts talking shit, so they end up whooping his ass. We left, but they whooped him out. But what I'm saying is, like,
Karma.
I was on the front line of that, so I probably know a little bit more about that. But as people speak of it now, racism does still exist. It exists, but it's not like it was. It really is not. Like, I know it's not. It could be systemic, like they say, and what have you, somewhat. But it's not like, I know that shit raw from the gate. Like, I got too many stories, and that's a story. Those are stories for another day, because that's not the show. But there's no, and bottom line, there's no reason for him to really speak on it. No one should be able to go and put all those pieces together, because I had a situation where I was with somebody and their father would say little things, but he wasn't malicious. But I still had to educate him and let him know what time it was with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
like I said, it's not a word. It's not a word that's in my vocabulary.
Nah.
But I feel like, all right, he was probably saying it because in his mind, he was like, you're not going to tell me what to say. And I'm going to say it because I'm hanging out with Dave Chappelle, so I can say, I can say it in front of Dave Chappelle. Well, yeah, you can't say it in front of Big Show. I've always hated when I see white people use the word in a, obviously in a racial way, but in a way to try to be down. It's one of the most cringiest things I've ever experienced in my life. Seeing white people use that word.
Well, for me, like, you can't be like really trying to be down to do that, because you could try to be down and you could be locked up or you could be dead. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and try to be down.
It's never been in my vocabulary. I don't like when people say it. And if you are the person who says it, say it in front of Big Shug.
Yeah, it's unnecessary, man. I will educate you, man, because that's where we're at, man. You know what I mean? I'm all about educating behind it, the meaning. Some people don't even say shit because it's with social media, all the songs is like that, a lot of songs are like that. And, they feel the freedom of lips, not speech, it's lips, because them lips be flapping, ain't shit coming out. So that's what it is now. I'm not going to forgive it, like I'm not going to allow it in my cipher, you know what I'm saying? But, people do speak it, and then that's up to people around them to check that,
Yeah, some people aren't getting checked.
It's something that, we'll continue to battle, we'll continue to move on. And as long as there's life, there's opportunity, and there's the ability for us to teach, and hopefully people can learn. We move as a people, man. That's like white, black, anything. We all know that. That's cliche a little bit, but once we move as a people, we be good. We're getting closer, though. We are. Each time we get closer, man. We do.
So I brought that up
to say what?
To segue into, do you think hip hop, people like yourself, helped bridge the racial gap in America?
Here's the deal.
I'm just wondering your opinion on that.
When I was a kid, people would be like, "You dress like they dress like the white boys dress like that, the black kids dress like this." Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was when I was a kid. So it was almost amazing to people when we started all dressing the same. You know what I'm saying? Right? Every time you see, like now, you know what I'm saying? Like even me and you, this was uncommon. We got hoodies on. Yeah. You got our jeans, sneakers, whatever, little pullover hats. But back then, like where I came in Boston, we might be a certain way with, our Adidas on and maybe hospital pants or something. And then the white people be the same, but then they wear them Izod jackets and little caps, like Kangol type caps. So those are just little styles, but you knew. They say, "Oh, you dress like a white boy, so-and-so, black, But now everybody dresses the same, like, it's the same page. And then the words, how many times you even hear old-ass, decrepit motherfuckers saying, like, dope, he dope, or he dissed them. Yeah. He dissed. This is the biggest one. That shit came from hip-hop. No shit. Oh, man, you dissed me. It ain't no but people in corporate world or white or whatever came with, "Hey, you dissed me." No, that shit, so that was taken by everybody because everybody understood what the shit meant. You say, so hip-hop at first, it was infiltrated in the homes because it was the great unknown, and then when the majority of the consumers have always been white, I mean, that's just the way it is. Anybody say it's different, that's some other shit. So now you're bringing records into the household, like real quick, I had a kid, Weissman, Dan Weissman. His father was Sam Weissman. He produced, What's the Worst That Could Happen with Martin Lawrence. Okay. And I think he had something to do with Nas Land or something. A few things. You got to look him up. His son was doing this little hip-hop, Boston hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? So he interviewed me. I went out to his house. He lived in Newton. And his house looked like some mansion shit. You know what I mean? I mean, his pop's a director, so I really didn't know much. So he's, they live in this beautiful house. He lives in a house that's basically considered the workers' quarters. Like, that's how big this shit was. Like, jeez. And I was like, damn, he's 18 and he got this. You know what I mean? Because amazing shit, I guess, I lived with them. But it was crazy because I was like, this is how they live. But he wanted to know what was going on with us in the city, what was happening, He even had an episode with some marijuana at one point, which was like, it was crazy, but I mean, it was him wanting to know about our culture. So in turn, he's teaching that to his parents.
Call them jazz cigarettes back then.
I mean, right? But he's teaching his people by bringing that shit in there. And Shug, I'm over the crib. I'm Big Shug, like, yo, who's this dude? You know what I mean? But I mean, of course, I just said that because, like, yo, hip hop definitely, like, bridged the gap. You know what I'm saying? Because
I think so too.
Even like, let me tell you something. Even when fucking Vanilla Ice came out, motherfucking black dudes and they say whatever the fuck they was saying was liking that shit too. Now, one of the reasons was is that the shit was good. Doom, 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 doom. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was popping. It took me years before I knew that where it came from, like the sample. So I was like, well, I'm just thinking this shit is dope, you know. And then you hear that other shit, doom, 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 all that other shit from the other group. I'm like, oh, so that's where that shit came from. So, but
you're some Queen, right?
And also, he could dance. Let me tell you something. If you could dance, and you was a white dude, whatever, and you went into any black party or club, like they was already automatically gonna be like, oh shit, he's cool. Look at this motherfucker, he can dance. Or if he could play basketball. Yeah, that's just how you was infiltrating, the black people. So when he came out with that shit, dancing, getting it over, he wasn't corny. Now when he started talking, he was definitely corn on the cob. You know what I'm saying? But that's what fucked him up. He thought he was Elvis and all that.
Do you remember by any chance him going on Arsenio?
Of course.
Arsenio,
I got stabbed. You know what I'm saying? I could show you right now. Even talking like, motherfucker, you like, this dude is a cheated on ball. So it's like that's what fucked him up. But when his mouth was closed and the music was on and he was dancing, dudes was with it. I don't give a fuck, man. I just got out of jail at that time. And I was blasting that shit in the Cressida. You know what I'm saying? I had the Cressida with the motherfucking sunroof. Doom, 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 doom. That's how things came together. And of course, we're close. There's nothing now for me and you to do this show.
Yeah.
Or for the commercials.
It's true. Like, I'm not saying hip hop had to take all credit, but it does take a huge credit.
Oh, huge, man.
Just even in the 80s, Italians married Italians. Puerto Ricans married Puerto Ricans. Irish married Irish. Right. Now it's like it's just not like that anymore.
It's different. Come on, it's different.
It's just not like that. Like right here in this room, we have fucking United Nations right here.
No question, man. We already was that. There's always some silly shit. Like also, I peeped some shit with Cardi B questions Atlanta's water quality after irritating her skin. Now listen, I guess you're not relevant unless you're relevant. You know what I'm saying? So them even printing that shit like fucks me up, and it's almost hilarious. But such is life. You know what I mean? We're gonna.
They just need content. We're in a content world. They need anything to talk about.
Right on, and also as we know, we'll get more into the sports later. But also, Dr. Dre, as we know, will be at the halftime entertainment, along with Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of deaf rappers. Sean Forbes and Warren Wawa Snipe. So that'll be interesting, man. I know it's going to be a dope halftime show. You know what I'm saying? But with me and DL will get into the game a little bit down the way,
I'm thinking, I'm thinking you could do it if you were deaf. This is how you could do it. You can't hear the beat, but you could watch someone clap.
You could feel the vibration.
You know what I'm saying? You could watch someone. Yeah. Sorry to do that on the microphone, but you could maybe keep a rhythm with the visual.
That's part of it. But me knowing some people are like that, sometimes they're deaf to hearing the words or hearing you, but not that boom boom bass.
The bass, okay.
Oh yeah, I know a friend of mine's, man, that's like that right now. He can hear that rhythm. You be dancing, you be like, yo, the fuck you, yo. But he can hear that, and then and that's your cadence. Your cadence is still, it's still gonna be boom, whatever it is, and you gonna rhyme, man. Do your thing.
There's that blind rapper, Blind Fury. You ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
He's good. He's actually really good, and everyone always praises Jay-Z for writing his verses in his head and this and that. I'm like, well, this guy has no other option but to write his words in his head. So I thought that was cool.
No, it is cool, man.
But I think that is cool about the deaf rappers at the Super Bowl.
Be dope.
Biggest stage in the world. There's no bigger stage on the planet. Literally. That's the biggest stage. The Super Bowl halftime show.
It's great because it brings attention to that.
I'm looking forward to that shit.
I was saying something positive and you end up with Janet Jackson's nipple.
It's okay.
Well, ever since that Janet Jackson debacle happened anyway, that's all they've been doing, man. They be like just...
Everyone's waiting for another titty to come out. That's why the only reason why people watch the Super Bowl.
And
they're like,
who got nice titties? Book them.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that. It could be something else. You never know. The titty committee has returned. Do you like watching movies?
Yeah.
So are you the type of dude that cries at movies?
I've been known to get teary at a movie or two in my life. I don't want to say cry, but I will with the music. See, I'm if the music hits right and it's done well, I think it could well up the hardest of the hard. I think a movie could well up some eyes.
And some people are like that, because basically it's your inner, you're emotionally pussy. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying on some real
the
shit,
danger zone.
I'm fucking with you somewhat, because I feel the reason why I asked you that because I guess people could get that emotional, and who am I to tell somebody how they gonna feel about something they watching? But me, I just don't,
I can get really into a movie. I was talking about this last night. I can get so into a movie that if, like, say the movie's about you and you're on the screen, I'm like, damn, I'd be trying to look around you sometimes. Like, I'd be so into a movie that I'm so invested in it.
So, see, the reason why I say...
I can't think of a movie that made me cry, but I have get welled up in movie. I have.
Well, let me tell you, for me, definitely never cried in a movie. Laughed a lot, even at horror movies. I always laugh at horror movies. Them shits be so fucking stupid. Yeah, any Chucky movie, dumb as shit. So listen, laugh your ass off, because that's some of the craziest, fake ass, puppet ass shit you ever seen in your life. But I could be into the movies. Like, first of all, I always have some sense of fire and just, man, being somewhat upset, understanding that it's a movie, but the story is any slave movie I ever seen. Any movie, even the Django, even Roots back in the day, even 12 Years a Slave.
The Color Purple.
You know what I'm saying?
12 Years a Slave was a rough one to watch,
any part of that always made me. Now, I watch a bunch of movies. I'm more attracted to, the movies about the real shit, not the fake, fantasy type shit. That's why I've never been a Trekkie or any of them type situations, but I never take that away from nobody either. Do your thing, rock.
People like what they like.
I never was like that about movies, but I got mad as shit. Like, the only movie that made me mad as shit, though, for real, really, man, I watched mad movies in my days, is really that Lorena Bobbitt movie.
Damn, you shocked me. I was not thinking you were going to go there.
God, son, let me tell you, because if you ever seen the movie, like, when you just knew the story, man, you know what I'm saying? You got the story that, somebody cut off his joint, his woman cut off his penis type situation, and drove and threw the shit out the window and all that, if you don't know the story and shit. So you're like, wow, that chick is crazy. That bitch is out of mind, and boom. But then when you seen the movie, you was like, this dude was doing crazy shit to this woman. You know what I mean?
What was he doing?
Wow. Huh?
What was he doing?
I'm just saying, just taking sex when he wanted it, anal shit, crazy shit, like beating her up. Oh, man.
That's not the headline. The headline is crazy lady cuts off guy's dick, throws it out the window.
But listen, then she doesn't go to court. I mean, she doesn't go to jail. She was found innocent. You know what I mean? Because
he did like Frankenstein porn. He did like Frankenstein porn after that shit.
That's a good insanity.
I'm just saying, when I saw that movie, I was on some mad shit, Also, too, I might have been a little bit mad with the big ass black dude in what's that movie, man?
Green Mile.
Yeah, that shit had me little, because I was like, he was mad dope and shit, and then they killed him and shit because they just didn't really. It was racial times heavy and. He was a big old comfortable ass big dude. Rest in peace.
He said comfortable.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan was the shit, dog. He could be somebody silly in a movie big as hell. But then he was in that movie and shit. He was in that movie playing such a iconic role and a powerful role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was also a powerful character in the Planet of the Apes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, just to know that the dudes, man, he was just so multifaceted.
I got a good one he was in that no one remembers because he's uncredited. He was one of Debo's homies in the dice game in Friday when Red came back for his bike. He was like, my dad said I could come back at that beach cruiser.
Was that the same movie when Ice Cube knocked him out?
Ice Cube knocked Debo out in the end, with the brick.
No. There was another movie with no. Ice Cube didn't knock him out. Michael Clark Duncan was a bouncer in one of the movies in a bar and knocked out a dude. Yeah, you got me. See, we digging deep. I forget the name of that movie, man. God damn, man. Stay away from that marijuana.
Yeah, but you may not cry at movies, but you have an emotional connection and reaction. So they do draw you in to the point where you have an emotional reaction. It may not be crying, but it is still an emotional reaction. And that's what movies do. They suck you in, and not every movie is going to do that.
So my answer to that is like, you can have an emotional investment. She's like, you have an emotional investment.
No,
you can have an
emotional reaction.
You can have emotional reaction, right? But that's not crying. So
No.
Yeah, I understand that.
I don't cry. I get my teary. Like
a movie where a dog dies.
I ain't trying to watch that, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like.
So are you?
I don't think I would cry at that. I just wouldn't want to watch.
So listen, are you ticklish too?
Am I ticklish? I don't think so.
Are people who ticklish? Is that a weakness? I'm
No,
not
wait a minute,
ticklish.
though.
I had a friend who used to tell me.
Hold on. I'm gonna get to it.
I had a friend who used to tell me
I'ma
yawning was a weakness. I don't yawn in public.
So are you ticklish?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm ticklish.
I'm not ticklish.
All right, so y'all would know, say, if each other's ticklish.
I'm not
Gucci,
ticklish.
Gucci.
What?
Well, listen. What I'm,
like what you would do with a
what I'm
baby.
saying is like, yo, come in, D. Yo.
I don't know. Are adults going around trying to tickle each other?
I mean, I think men and women. You know what I'm saying? I think men and women, like, some silly ass playful shit. But reason why I say that, I don't think it means you're weak. But it's still a mental thing though, because I used to be ticklish as hell growing up. Then I got to that point, I didn't, but there's still mad motherfuckers that's ticklish as hell.
Yeah, I think I was as a kid.
I learned how you could like be like, yo, he comes with his new joint.
New beat.
Myster DL. Featuring Tanya, called Tickle Me Tanya. Yo,
Hell no, that's not happening.
You're watching the Danger Zone podcast. Hit that like button.
Yes.
Subscribe. Follow us on all our social medias and all that.
Yo, Big Shug, Myster DL, the Danger Zone podcast. We here. We ain't even going nowhere. We got mad shit to do, man. We gonna be here these episodes, man, keeping it real as real could possibly be. You know what I'm saying?
Watching the Olympics?
Am I watching it?
Yeah.
I've never been.
I used to be so big on
When
that.
I was younger, because you know what? I think the Olympics was bigger because we didn't have the social media and all these different TV channels.
We didn't have access to the show.
Because at one point it was about Wild World of Sports, the agony of defeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what everybody's seen that shit. The same commercials and shit like that. Now, now I might watch some basketball, and maybe. I used to like that synchronized swimming shit. That's just some incredible ass shit too.
I love that.
And that toboggan shit, like but that synchronized shit, I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers divers too.
So Big Shug don't cry in movies, but he loves synchronized swimming. All right.
Let me tell you something about
Okay.
that. Let me tell you about that. That's because I once, listen, open book. When I was a kid, I took ballet from the age of 9 to 14. You know what I'm saying? I went to Elma Lewis School of Fine Arts.
I remember you said
Rest
that in
in
the
peace.
prior podcast.
So I hated to do that, but I had to take it because it was one of your requirements. So you were taking ballet, drama, sculpturing, African dance, a bunch of shit, but it really did something with, foot-wise and different things, I believe, with me and disciplines, because then I went on to be a great high school football player and play some in college. But I mean, that shit was really something that's why I speak about it today. I mean, some people feel I made some of the most hardcore records and different shit. They look at me a certain way. But that shit was just the development of something that I learned. And because I took ballet, but I also took karate as well. I also, there was so many boxing for a minute. So there was so much cultural shit.
You were very well-rounded.
Oh yeah, they made sure, my mom's was making sure that was happening. I seen so many great shits happen in the Olympics. You know what I mean? So it maybe isn't the same. It maybe isn't the same as it was, for me, maybe, and even the world. But I know when I was young, I seen great stuff. I seen, dude, I think his name is something Rulon or whatever, beat the great Russian wrestler. You know, and he was this chubby ass dude, but he wasn't supposed to beat dude. You know what I mean? And he did. That was great. Some dude named Greg Louganis, man, getting all these goddamn diving trophies.
Yeah, he stay on that real quick. Greg Louganis was a world famous diver, one of the biggest at the time, and he had AIDS.
Right.
And he what was it? He hit his head and fell into the pool.
Yeah, but that was during when he was training. He didn't die from that.
No, he didn't die, but I know it was just a big news story back then because it was like the beginning of AIDS and everything.
But I mean, even Mark Spitz, you know what I'm saying, swimming. You know what I'm saying? And then Bruce Jenner, who also now is known as Caitlyn Jenner. Like, these are people that you see do great, accomplished shit where you just like...
I think we saw them as heroes.
Michael Johnson,
like
remember him?
that connection.
But me, I didn't look at them as heroes. I looked at them more like those accomplishments was the shit. As we stand here, man, we move forward. I love the Olympics. The thought about it, what it represents, and when you do win, and when we were beating the shit out of teams... Like in the NBA, shit like that.
I don't know. I feel like growing up, like with the Olympics, it was a lot of like you really got to know the athletes, and for me, they were kind of like heroes because it comes around every 4 years, and then now it's like I watch the Olympics, I'm like I don't even know who these people are.
Well, like I'm saying, but then it's because now your eyes can do like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just so much shit that you... Like, I used to read the newspaper every goddamn day. Sports first. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't even... Like, it's been years since I've been doing that shit, so... And I did it for years, from 10 years old, like, to, like, reach 5, 6 years ago or some shit. You know what I mean?
I always liked the Olympics. I always felt bad for the athletes that didn't win because 4 years as an athlete is a long time. Like you were saying a couple weeks ago, the average NFL career is only 3 to 5 years, so... Just imagine if you're in this sport or that sport, if you don't win this time, man, I don't know if I'm going to be, if I can't win now, how am I going to win 4 years from now?
And they used to have a great boxer back in the day, Teofilo Stevenson. He didn't go pro or nothing when they wanted him to, but he just was in the Olympics and kept winning. Till he got older, and then eventually, you know, someone's gonna whoop your ass. But he had all those gold medals.
I always root for USA. The only sport I don't root for USA is women's beach volleyball. Brazil all the way.
Yeah,
but it's USA and everything else.
I mean, me too. I root for the country, man. But I like the competition of some of the things. Like I said, I watched some great boxing, wrestling. Over the years.
Track back in the day. Like,
even track.
When I was a teenager, Michael Johnson, do you remember him? Michael Johnson?
Of course.
That was exciting. When I was 12, I feel like 12, 13, that's the most impressionable time in your life. And that was, the Dream Team was that summer.
Oh.
And it was just, the Olympics were the shit when I was that age, you know, like, you know, Michael Jordan and the fucking Olympics. You asked me if I ever cried at a movie. That was one of the questions. I did cry at a movie one time. Bawled my eyes out. I went to a movie. Me and Tanya went to the movies one day. We went to see this movie called Black Mass, right? And I was just so proud that my homie Big Shug was acting with arguably the biggest movie star of all time. Top 5? Johnny Depp?
Well, I mean, that's
biggest?
Still, that's cool. You know,
no, I'm not me personally, but biggest?
You know, my shit spans. So.
Box office wise, he's got to be Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean. He's got to be up there. Maybe not. I don't know. I think he's got to be up there.
I think. Well, he could be, but that dude for the generation afterwards, like Keanu Reeves had some good movies like that.
Yeah.
There's a few dudes, man. Brad Pitt,
yeah.
Definitely Leonardo.
Top 10? You put him on the top 10?
Yeah.
He'll be on the top 10.
He plays the role. First of all,
if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Big Shug acting with Johnny Depp in Black Mass. So if you like that, hit the like button and subscribe to all our shit.
Let me tell you, man, on some real shit, he played that Whitey Bulger shit to the T.
He did very good.
He should have got an Oscar with that shit, man. I'm not just saying because I'm in the movie.
I don't think the movie was there, but I think his performance was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and see something? See, I kind of knew some of that story from living around the times.
Yeah.
So that's why the movie was pretty, like, close to me as far as they pulling it off, because I kind of knew certain shit that happened, and I saw some of it loosely in The Departed, but then in that movie, Black Mass, that was something else, man. But here, let me give you a backstory on that, though. So when we was doing Black Mass, There's a scene, man, with me and I fight Whitey Bulger underneath the bridge. You know, anybody that knows me, you know what I'm saying? I'm like 2'6". I mean, I'm 6'3", about 275 now. Might have been about 285 then, you know. And Johnny Depp and Whitey Bulger was short as hell. Johnny Depp probably was 5'5", something. I don't know. He was pretty short.
Wow.
So he comes up, and first the scene was supposed to be, Whitey's gonna come up to you. Big Shug was playing, shit, I could have been Lewis at the time or some shit. But I'm playing this big dude. He's gonna come up and punch you, and you're gonna fall to the ground. So I said, now I never was all gassed up about being in movies. I'm going, you know, we're gonna tell it right. We're gonna, you know. I says, so you mean this little ass motherfucking white dude is supposed to come up and punch me, big ass black dude, and I'm supposed to drop to the ground? I said, dude, that shit is gonna look stupid as hell. I said, is this a serious movie or comedy? You know what I'm saying? For real, on some shit. So then that's why, if you see the movie now, you'll see dude has a pipe wrench. So now when he comes and hits me with the wrench, you know, that's more, you know,
That makes
to
sense.
happen. But man, that's, trust me, man. I've had a lot of input in these movies that when you see my scenes, trust me, there's not one movie that I did where there wasn't something I switched up.
Who'd you run that idea by, Johnny Depp or the director?
Everybody's there when you're saying it. Everybody's saying it.
Oh, so
everyone's right there.
Oh, okay,
Say
okay.
that for everybody.
I'm saying it loud,
like your coworkers.
you want
are
this
there.
shit to be like whatever, you know what I'm saying? There was a time in the town, like we was the department me selling the drugs, right? These motherfuckers come to your door to buy drugs, and and these dudes had shit inside this case. I'm supposed to have my drugs or something. The bags this big, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit was like this. And I was like, listen, first of all, you're not gonna go to no one's crib and buy some drugs. They gonna come out and give you this big ass shit like that. That shit ain't gonna be like that. So once again, is this a serious movie or comedy? You know what I'm saying? So, and then they said, then Ben switched that up real quick though. They switched it. So then when you see the movie, I come out with some stuff. But at first, I would have came, that motherfucker should have been robbed me. And if you could go in the projects, I played Kenny with the white nose. And he was the only black dude in these projects, I was selling drugs. Like this is a whole kind of white area, Charlestown, whatever. So check that movie, The Town. Your boy Big Shug is up in there.
Big Shug's in the town, but right now we're talking about Black Mass.
But hold up, though. I just got to give you that town shit.
Yeah, we're
Kenny
gonna do
with
that
the
on
white
another
nose.
episode.
But we'll go back.
We'll talk. We'll get more into depth.
I've been in 75 movies. Come
We'll
on,
get more. We'll get more in depth on the town.
All right.
But for Black Mass, was it cool doing like a period movie where it was all back in the day stuff?
Yeah.
You haven't done that, have you?
I've never had a period when I was doing a movie.
Oh, you gotta have a period,
So,
man.
I can't do a period
Gotta
movie.
have a period,
Nah,
man.
I'm fucking with you. It was dope. Because like I said, the shit was more dope for me because I knew the story, the real life.
Was it cool seeing Boston how you used to see it? Because you were there when it looked like that, and some time passed, and then you get to go.
It was cooler seeing the cars.
Yeah, the cars.
Because we were still at the same shit. Like the cars were different. Somebody brought them cars in El Caminos, if anybody know about back in the day, and looked like it was 1978 Lincoln Town cars and shit like that. There was some fly whips up there. So that part was fly, And then the wardrobes, the wardrobes, that was funky too, because I kind of knew what I was supposed to have on, so to speak,
I'm gonna make sure I show what you look like in that movie for those who haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. It's crazy too. And like, you know what? It was a wonderful ass premiere too. The premiere was dope as shit. It was crazy because the rap party was at the New England Aquarium. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. That's
so
cool.
The shit that made it even cooler,
Hanging
though.
with penguins.
Yeah, now that you said that, the shit that made it cool.
Everybody got tuxes on.
I came a little late, and as I came in, then they seen.
Wait a second. You were late?
Yeah, well, yeah, I do that with
Nah,
us. 'Cause
you big shit.
We be trying to get it right. Now, when it comes, when it comes to shows and all that, like people tell you, I'm never late. I'm only like sometimes with us, our time be even with videos, our shit be a little off. But when
I'm on white people time. That's kind of where I'm at. Like I'm always there.
It's not just white people that are on time.
No, for real. Sometimes they'll like we'll cross like at that time, and you know what I'm saying. But I was a little late, and was so dope. This is a big ass production, and the dude stopped this shit because they're about to run it back on the screen. to say, hey, this Big Shug. Right?
That's
And to
dope.
me, that was dope because it's a big ass movie. Everybody's there. It's a rap party. And I'm like, he didn't have, So, but I know I made the impression with him. We had some good conversations. But then we're walking around. I remember I tried to smoke with this dude. Maybe we did. And the Pangs was out. Because, if you ever been to New England aquarium, whatever, like, the animals were still there. The fish and everything else was still there. So I'm out there. I said, wow, people running around drinking and smoking. These penguins just chilling.
That's cool.
You know what I
I'd
mean?
love to be there. That would have been amazing.
Yo, there was some dope. As we talk, like he said, we had some more movies to talk about. Them rap parties was dope as shit. Like them parties, man, was something else with them shits, man.
Write that down for a future episode.
Yeah, man. It's a lot popping.
So, what was Johnny Depp like? Did you just really interact with him on the set, and then he got shuffled back to his trailer, or?
Listen, I think I said that before. Everybody I was ever in these movies were cool as shit. Everybody. Like, they didn't separate themselves from you. You know what I'm saying?
Because I feel like I saw a picture of you, him, and maybe one of your sons.
My oldest son, Kerry Jr., me and him and Johnny Depp was in the picture. You know what I'm saying? And,
That's cool, right?
Because it was dope.
He is Johnny Depp is in full makeup in the photo, I believe,
and
too.
he's in full makeup, and he's also on his tippy toes. Because me and my son is like 6'3".
Oh,
so
shit.
he's mad little, and I feel short. And he still had on the little whitey bulge high heel joints. They used to wear them little boot joints. You know what I'm saying? So he had the little heel deals on the bottom. So yeah, so he was rocking them. But me and my son are tall, and the dope thing was I got my son to be there because he was my double. My stand-in. So they were doing lighting using him, and he made a few dollars, but it was really about him being, on the set and chilling, and he was right at my side, so it was dope that he was able to do that. But Johnny was straight though, man. He kicked it. We had a good time, man.
We had another friend in that show, XL, in that movie. XL was in the movie.
Yeah,
he was a snitch, or not a snitch. He was in an interrogation.
Yeah, he was getting interrogated. Because if people watch the movie, sometimes they might not know certain things, but that was me fighting Whitey under the bridge. But then
I knew right away. Remember? I was like, "Ooh!"
Then I'm in the I'm getting interrogated at the end of the movie.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So therefore, it was like, it was good, man. It was dope. Something, to be honest with you, when they started making movies in Boston, I used to be like, dang, I'll be fucking picking no black dudes from the hood and shit and all that. Then next thing you know, this is how I really thought. Then I was like, next thing you know, I started being in all these movies. I said, oh shit. You know what I mean? And I'm a dude who's like part of the woodwork. I'm like, I travel the world, but I'm from Boston, I grew up in Mattapan in the city, and I'm from there. But it's crazy, man, that I was in those movies and continue to still do movie shit. So,
This is a random question. All it requires is a yes or no, because if it's yes, we could really go into it on another show.
Right.
But did you know Patrice O'Neal?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
The comedian who looked like a football player. Rest in peace. Yeah. Probably the biggest comedian in the game that wasn't a fact. He was a big dude. You know what I mean?
I was a curious question that just came into my head right now. It's like, you guys kind of around the city at the same time.
Because, that's what happened. Like, that hip-hop shit was, as the hip-hop shit was moving, he was around moving.
Yep.
And the crack era was moving. Like, right there in the 80s, at that point, that shit was moving.
All right, so every week we talk about, a little bit of hip-hop, a little bit of movies, a little bit of sports. So, sports, what's going on with sports, man? I'm really kind of, besides the Super Bowl, I'm out of the loop, so.
I mean, first and foremost, though, of course, Brian Flores, they call him B-Flow, used to coach with the Patriots, just formerly recently coached the Miami Dolphins in the NFL. He has a lawsuit going on against the NFL, against racial inequality. It's going to be a battle. I mean, he was slated to be the Houston coach. He looked like he had the inside track for the Houston Texans, but he didn't get that job. They gave it to Lovie Smith, which is cool, because Lovie Smith, B-Flow was good that black guy got the job probably, but at the same time, Lovie was a coach before, and it was safer for them because him suing the league, I believe. It's crazy, but I hope that things work out for him. He's a great coach. He should be coaching if he gets this NFL thing out the way and it's not there and it's in college, you know, we could always use a great football mind like Brian Flores, you know, so salute him in his fight and see what happens here. Also, we know it's Super Bowl weekend. 2 teams that probably no one really thought would be there, but we're here. Cincinnati Bengals, we were the underdog, against Los Angeles Rams. And I feel on that side, you know, guys have this hunger, like extra press, because you got Von Miller coming from Denver, know what that is to try to win that thing, to have that fire. You got Aaron Donald, who's a beast, who knows he was at the Super Bowl a few years back. They didn't do it, you know, so now here he is. You got Jalen Ramsey on the backside, you know what I'm saying, who's got to help try to shut shit down. And OBJ, that's like, I want to show everybody that Baker Mayfield was chips, and I got a good quarterback now.
Who would have thought leaving a huge market, moving a huge market like the New York Giants, and then going up there, that you're going to the fucking Super Bowl.
So Pete, plus LA, they're home. You know, that's where they're from.
That's wild.
So that's the team.
The odds of that.
That's the team you want to pick.
How many teams are there? 32?
Yes.
So the 1 in 32 chance of being the team, you know what I mean? And it's crazy.
Here we are, man. Like they should win the game. I believe they should win the game. But also, man, on another note, man, the Bengals, man, it's that fire. That's great unknown. Which is also known. Joe Burrows wins a championship in college on his back, on some, you know, accurate, tough guy. He might not be the most athletically talented or what have you, but he's a fierce player. And he's accurate, he's powerful dude, you know, got to be that makeup. Then you got, you know, that team, Jamar Chase from college with him, running out there wilding. And, you know, these dudes are the wild young, you know, so they could upset, you know. I like them to upset.
Yeah, Big Shug loves football. That's
I'm going
one
to
thing
be
I
at
know
the game,
about that.
I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean? If I'm not going to be inside of the stadium watching it, I'm going to be home watching that shit on the big screen, eating what I want to eat and chilling with my people and family and such. You know, so I'd rather be that, not standing out somewhere freezing, motherfuckers spilling beers and rah. Nah, you know what I'm saying? I got a son playing, so, like, I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm a Patriots fan, man. I've been a Patriots fan my whole life. Even before, man, I knew Leon Gray used to play for the Patriots, rest in peace. You know, Steve Grogan had a store, Grogan and Marciano out in Mansfield. When I was coaching Pop Warner, he used to give me like shit for them, the kids, little mouthpieces and all that type stuff. And plus I watched him, he was dope. Even when they was horrible, I was still the fan. So when they got good, it was cool. And where we at now, it's cool, I'm cool. Like, you know, I'm a fan. Celtics, Patriots, shout out to the Celtics on a 7-game winning streak. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they probably really found that out. You know, that niche, to see how we keep it going. You know.
Shout out to the Yankees.
Yeah, it was the Yankees, whatever. But also, I'm just speaking fact, man, right now. You know, we over in New England, that's why I'm saying that. But at the same time, LA Lakers, man, it's look like a big mess.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
terrible. I feel
they
so
want to
bad.
blame it on Westbrook, but it's not that. Sometimes it's just, man, people have to have the right continuity, the right mesh, man.
Yeah, chemistry.
You know, chemistry, all of that, man, to play, like, to execute like that. That might not be the right mesh right there. Also, man, Brooklyn Nets are a mess. You know, with Kyrie not hardly playing, Kevin Durant is hurt, James Harden isn't playing with a hamstring. And they were supposed to be all that. They've lost, I think, about 11 games in a row. And the Celtics just beat, I don't know, they just beat the hell out of them. They beat the brakes off, they beat the bag on them, they beat the blueberries out their muffins, they beat the shit out of them.
They beat the blueberries out there.
That's what they yo, shit's crazy. But I mean, so, I don't know, man, that's just a little bit about it.
Oh, I got the biggest sports thing. I forgot I want to talk about this. Major League Baseball comes out, 3 days ago? And they said, hey, you know what? I know it's been 20 years and we destroyed people's reputations and kept everybody out of the Hall of Fame and this and that. But, yeah, we're not going to test for steroids anymore.
I didn't even hear that.
Mic drop.
What do you think about that?
if that's the truth, then we're gonna go back to the home runs.
Yeah, because that's what they're trying to do. Like, there's been this like anti-baseball bullshit that's been going on for these last few years. People like, the game's boring. It's too long. I'm like, dude, don't fucking watch it.
Yo, listen,
if you don't like baseball, don't watch it. So it was more exciting when people were juicing. It was.
I like baseball, but I don't like to sit through the shit because if it's not offensive, then ain't nothing happening.
Even if it's too offensive and it's a blowout, it's boring.
Yeah, well, still,
I like baseball though.
To me, shit is hilarious. Like when it's like that, but when it's like a defensive duel, a pitching duel.
Yeah, baseball is my favorite sport to watch. Basketball is my favorite sport to play.
I mean,
because I got the basketball body, so it's just natural for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, but I mean, either you make muffins or you make tires. I don't know what the fuck. I don't fucking know. I'm trying to find out. I mean, yo, listen, I tell you, boy, make me want to drink some of that cinnamon fireball shit, boy.
The danger zone.
God damn. We got anything else here?
For sports, nah. So I got a question, man. I've heard.
Oh, wait, before that though. So do you have a pick for the Super Bowl, or you just watch it?
But I'm gonna go Bengals because I just see an upset in LA. I was always a Giants fan growing up, but I never liked Eli Manning. So I liked Peyton Manning, but I didn't like Eli Manning. So those years were rough for me to root for him because I just hated him. I don't want to play for the Chargers.
Yeah,
Dad.
Listen, but
can you get me to play somewhere else?
Pete, them motherfuckers both got 2 rings on some shit. Like went to the crib and like, and he won his rings.
Yeah, he did.
Yo, I'm saying that motherfucker won his rings.
Yeah, Peyton coasted on the last one, but he was a great quarterback.
Oh, he
though.
was.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, dude won. That dude played quarterback in those. He played the best 2 games of his life in them games.
Yeah,
he
showed
the
up.
Patriots had this motherfucker by his shirt and neck, and I go, oh, they got Eli. Eli cat out of that shit and threw that shit to dude who was holding on his helmet.
If I liked Eli, I would have done a lot more bragging. But I was just like, all right, cool, yeah, good.
Well, he didn't have the type of face though that you want to put on your T-shirt.
He was a brown bag.
Yeah, he wasn't the type of you didn't want to like champion that grill. Like you was like, yo, this motherfucker looked like, you know what I'm saying, that he chased pigs. You know what I mean, and bring eggs in. Like, you know, them motherfuckers had that little country Opie type look, but he,
oh my God,
he still.
That is exactly what he looked like.
For those
That's exactly what he looks like.
For those 2 games,
he looks
that motherfucker,
like Tom Sawyer's. Like, he looks like he's Tom Sawyer.
Those 2 games, listen, those 2 games, that unhandsome motherfucker took that shit over. I'm trying to tell you, man.
That was nicer.
And I respect that dude for the rest of my life because he played those 2 games, man. You know what I'm saying?
I loved it. I was going to school up here.
Yeah, you put it good.
I didn't love it.
I just didn't like him because he got drafted by another team and sulked his way to another
but
team.
Peyton did that shit too.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Peyton was the first. He was the first. Yeah, Peyton was the one really that was like.
No shit. Well, who drafted him? I don't know.
No. Who else did that? No, who else? I'm sorry. What's the name? John Elway.
Oh wow.
He was one too. You know what I mean? And he ended up going to Denver, and those dudes just get the stuff and beat the fuck out of them their first few years.
Yeah.
Stuff and beat. You know what I'm saying? What's that? The COVID joint? Because y'all keep passing that shit back.
Well, you had one. She ran out.
No, it's cool because y'all. That's the COVID joint. I'm good over here. I
didn't know you. I thought you ran out of your joint.
Nah, I'm good. If them are the COVID joints, keep them shits going.
All right. So. We good for sports?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what the next 6, 7, 8 years of baseball are going to be like.
Especially if that's the case. You know what I'm saying?
So, all right. So I've heard all these stories about you. Stories that, kind of like Bo Jackson. Like, if you heard it, trust me, it's probably true. Yeah. And I heard this story that you had some sort of issue with Run DMC. And I want to know if that's true and what the hell happened.
Is this a new segment?
I met them before. I mean, I don't know them like you know them, obviously, but I've met them before, and they were really nice to me. If you remember, let me tell my story after he tells this story.
So, boom. The situation was that, like, man, listen. when I was coming up with Guru, and we started out with our group, every Monday night, it was hip-hop shows at the 9 Lansdowne Club. We saw Fat Boys there. We saw Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick at that spot. You know, we saw even some house shit, man. Colonel Abrams, CeCe Peniston, you know. But we saw all the hip hop shows was there though. Everybody was gonna be there, man, right? So me and Guru went up there because Run DMC, they just came out. This shit was boom, like that's the group. So we up there, you know, checking and see to get in our clubs, man, you had to wear shoes. So dudes were always hardball them sharp, you know, to get in them spots. In Boston, that's how it was, you know. So we in the club, you know, we early. Now the dude DJing is my man Troy Anthony, you know, that we grew up. Shout out to Troy, man, he's still DJing. So we grew up around the neighborhood, and I'm getting in this shit on, you know, they was giving me the love. I'm getting in there, man, me and Google. And that night we're up front, you know what I'm saying? And we're like, yeah, you know, it's Run DMC and shit. So we're up early. I'm on the stage part. They got food and shit, so I'm on the stage part eating food and whatever. Then Run comes up. They coming to the stage. Jay and everybody, rest in peace, man. Jay was my man. Shit, trust me, after I tell you. And then when he got up, he said, yo, I want everybody to get the fuck off the stage. You know what I'm saying? The fuck. So dudes are scattering, whatever, some of these motherfuckers. But yo, I'm from Mattapan for real. This is my shit though.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, like this is what I do. Like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Who exactly said get the fuck off the stage?
Run
Okay,
said
Run.
that.
All right.
So, and when I said, yo, who the fuck you talking to? I put my food down, I'm ready to fuck squaring up. Somebody's getting KO'd. Not me, trust me. And when I say, who the fuck you talking to? You said, yo, I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to them. And when we did that, we kind of got peace. So then we sat there, me and Guru on the stage to watch the rest of the show. Afterwards, these motherfuckers put on new Adidas or something, Pumas or something. And they had food at this, everybody was gone from the club, but you know, we was kind of like getting treated VIP, but we was just some dudes, man. I knew some people.
Yeah, are you gangsta? Are you Big Shug and Guru, or are you Keithy E and Sugar Bear?
Keithy E and Sugar Bear right
okay,
there.
all right.
But we crew though, we gangsta though. That's our shit.
But you're just there. You're not like an opener.
No.
There.
We started performing there afterwards.
Okay.
Actually, we started with fucking lip sync shows, winning money. So that's another show, another story. You know what I'm saying? So
right, that time.
We was getting that money like it's early, so we could get in the door.
Stay tuned in the future for the lip sync show episode.
Yeah, man, but dude, on some real shit, it was, man, listen, man, 9 Lansdowne was that spot. And then after that, though, I was able to ascend with Gangstar, so now I was seeing running them everywhere. You know, I remember telling Run that story. But we was, by then, we was at Impact in Atlanta, 90, Jack the Rapper, one of them shits.
Okay.
We were seeing everybody everywhere, you know what I mean? Although Gangstar wasn't the platinum artist and such like that, the popularity was immense because everywhere we went and other rappers were there, they all knew.
Just think, like,
Chief, you know,
Run DMC was obviously bigger than Gangstar, but I feel like Gangstar, I still think people still listen to Gangstar.
No,
of course, not many people listen to Run DMC. You know what I'm saying?
It might be,
I do, but I mean,
there's truth to that. You might be, but that's not what I'm saying.
You outlasted them as far as
right, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if, would like say Run and D and Guru and fucking Dr. Dre and whatever back then. Tretch was all in the room, but Guru's getting the same amount of love as everybody in there. You see what I'm saying? It's not like more people are over here. That's what I mean. The popularity was crazy with the group.
Leave a comment leave a comment wherever you're watching to see if I'm out of line for saying that Run DMC is obviously bigger. The name is bigger than Gangstar, but I feel like Gangstar's music is still a relevant music as far as maybe people don't really listen to Run DMC music.
Nah.
Just let me know in the comment section if I'm wildly inappropriate for saying that.
If he's wildly inappropriate.
But I was super inspired by Run DMC as a kid, more so as
Me too, for real.
As a DJ. When I first saw Jam Master Jay scratch on television, I was a kid. I was like 5 years old. So I took the record player and I just took the needle and I dragged it across the record like oh yeah, and I didn't know any better, you know what I'm saying? But years later, I'm probably 18 years old, and Run DMC with Jam Master Jay played a show at Worcester College, and I'm front row at this concert. And I'm nobody. I don't have anything out. I'm just a kid, you know what I mean? And I'm rapping every single word to the whole entire show. So when they do Down with the King, DMC puts the mic in my face. So I'm like rapping the whole verse to Down with the King. So whatever, right? That was like the moment of, that was like the peak of my life at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Kill yourself.
So I'm walking out the venue like, oh, ba-doop, boop. And I walk past the limo and the window rolls down and Jam Master Jay says, hey. And I turn around, it's fucking Jam Master Jay. And he's like, he was like, oh, that was pretty cool, huh? You gonna remember that forever? Blah, blah, blah. And then as I approached the limo, I saw they were all in the limo. So I had a black shirt on with yellow Adidas logo.
Right.
And they all signed it. Jam Master Jay, Run, and DMC. I was like, oh, you want to sign it too?
But I met you. But go ahead.
So I get home and I'm at school because I'm still in high school at this point. And I'm telling everybody, I met Run DMC last night and they invited me to their limo and signed my shirt. And everyone was just like, so most people were like, I don't care. And the other people who cared were like, no, you didn't. So my friend Sean Mack, I said, come to my house, I'll show you. So I go to my house and I get into the basement. I try to find the shirt and I can't find it. And I said, Mom, you moved my shit. She goes, oh, I watched it. There was ink all over it. So shout out to my mom for washing. She ruined it. You can still see the DMC. You can still see it, but it was just all like faded. You know what I'm saying? So that was my only interaction with them ever. But it was a life changing because it made me want to like make rap music. It was inspiring to me.
I mean, also, man, I remember going to a party that Jay had, rest in peace, and we was chilling, man. We was at that party hanging hard, but then there's mad beefs broke out inside. Them motherfuckers outside was just blasting shit up. It was just crazy, and we just tried getting up out of there, man. And, you know, but man, I mean, I went to a couple of parties he had gave. Shit was just crazy dope, and that was like he was always smooth with different vibes. Like he was people's, man. It was good. It was good, man.
I always thought, I said it on the first episode, I always thought his death was the worst one because it was like, yeah, they weren't the first this or the first that, but they were the reason why it became so successful, I feel. And yeah, there might have been someone else who came in down the road and did what they did if they didn't, but they did it. It was them. They were the first people who sold out Madison Square Garden rapping. Like, it was those guys. So, and I know he was a street dude, but he always just seems like a positive person. Where even if he dirted you or robbed you or whatever the fuck he did, he'd be like, dude, it's Jam Master Jay. Just fucking beat him up. You know what I mean? Like,
as we see that, as we
kill
see,
him. It's terrible.
As we see how, you know, things like that have happened, you know, all we know is like when the people die, they're no longer, like, especially those memories and what we speak of now, like, they're no longer here in the physical. Obviously, they no longer exist in the physical, but their legacies, their music, and who they were, like, it's always gonna stay with you, man. So that's a blessing on the other side of that. You know what I mean? But damn, because I mean, the pain after pain there's ease. You're gonna be painful for whatever it is, but then you're gonna ease, man. That's life. That's the balance of that shit. You know? So it's always going to have that hurt to you. But damn, as long as you're living, man, you know, like I said before, the rest of your life could be tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to do what you got to do out here, man, and try to live your life, pursue your goals, and just, man.
Sound advice from Big Shug.
Baby, get it done. Yes, sir.
Sound advice from Big Shug. You're watching The Danger Zone. It's been another good one, man.
Yeah, man, it was good. I mean,
that was good.
I feel good. You know, I smell good. I look good. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm just G-double-O-D.
I'm one of the three. I smell pretty good.
Yeah, he smell kind of funny. But they all
say, well, I smell like a wet dog. Is that what you're saying?
No, you don't smell like a wet dog. You just smell wet. No.
Hit that like button. Hit that share. Subscribe. Comment.
Yes.
We're out of here, man.
Yes. Have a good one. Hey, Super Bowl Sunday. All that, man. Enjoy, man. We out.
On my dark days, I chop crack on the regular. Ran up in spots and clapped on a regular. Took big fat ass stacks from the register. No matter how hard they tried, they still couldn't measure the hard I have. You juke when I stab. Grands in my pocket and still caught a cab.